We're going to meet Adam Sank. He worked at the New York Times for a while. He's a big LGBTQ advocate, comedian. He's been in New York a long time. I want to just get a sense from him about what's changed, what could be better. Stay out of the left and right and just what do we need to get done? Can we focus on what we need to get done, please?
Morning. Hi, sweetie.
This is yours.
Thank you. I'll take the whole thing. Fuck off your stuff, lady.
Hi, Amy Jordan.
Hi.
Independent candidate for Congress. And this is our first coffee talk.
Nice to meet you.
Let's start with New York. You've lived here for a long time.
I consider myself a lifelong New Yorker because I grew up 25 miles outside the city. When I moved in, this was a very rundown, sort of scary neighborhood. And then all my gay friends said, what are you thinking living here? It's crazy. There's no gay people. It's dangerous. And I was like, well, it's in the middle of everything. It's so convenient and it's very cheap. And 3 years later, I bought this place and it was starting to get a little gayer and a little less scary. And so that's sort of the way it always happens in New York, right? Like the gays move in, we make it pretty,
gets better.
and then it gets too pricey for us, and we find someplace else. But gentrification is great for those who get here first, and then it becomes terrible for working New Yorkers who can't afford it. And I think Manhattan has become a borough for only the rich and the super rich, and that's no good. So I have a journalism background. Originally, I went to Columbia for J School, and I was a TV news producer for 6 years at Fox News. Don't hold that against me. And that was dong dong. You have to do the ominous music there. But anyway, after 6 months there, I was like, I'm burnt out. I hate this. I can't do it anymore. A friend of mine just coincidentally was like, I'm at the New York Times. I can get you a freelance job. And then I tested positive for HIV. And I was like, I need health benefits immediately. And I literally went to my boss at the Times and I was like, I have HIV. I need health benefits. And they were like, we'll find you a job. And they made me a full-time clerk. And then within like a year, I was basically running the arts section. I was the administrator of the arts desk, which I loved. The best job I ever had.
Oh my God.
But then I met the sailor in San Diego. So,
it's always about the boys. Well,
Rob, it's all your fault.
Segue, actually, because healthcare is what tipped this all off for me. Everyone will know the story how I went to the pharmacy and I've had diabetes for 52 years and my insulin was suddenly not covered and they wanted me on something else because it was in their formulary and the poor pharmacist, is not her fault. And I said, what? 600 and so this having to work now for health care is
then the Affordable Care Act was a huge improvement, and look what's being done to that.
It, yeah. And I spoke with a colleague of mine recently who's done a lot of governmental work around diabetes legislation, and I've gone to Capitol Hill in the past trying to legislate for lower insulin and, diabetes and obesity not through the drugs, because those are for specific metabolic disorders, not if you want to lose 10 pounds. And then my other bigger question that I need to find an answer for is, why do 30 million people need to be on SNAP to begin with?
Oh,
why
my God.
are we not providing?
Why do these people with full-time jobs?
Full-time jobs and still having to be on Medicaid and SNAP?
I will tell you my number one pet peeve. There are and I'm not telling you something you don't already know, but there are so many vacant buildings just in this neighborhood that have been vacant for years. Right down the block, there's a building where Starbucks used to be. And it's a residential building. The ground floor was a Starbucks, and then there's like 3 stories above it that are empty apartments. The apartments have always been empty, but the ground floor was a thriving Starbucks for years and years and years. Starbucks left because the building was condemned. It's unsound. It could fall to the ground at any moment. Whoever owns it has never brought it up to code. So it has remained vacant now for 15 years. Wow. And however many years before that, the apartments above were vacant. It is on the corner of 47th Street and 9th Avenue. It is prime Hell's Kitchen real estate. Why can't there be a law passed by the New York Assembly that says if you own a building in New York City, whether it's residential or commercial, and you do not bring it up to code and occupy it with a business or residence or whatever kind of building it is within 6 months or a year or whatever, let's set a time period, then the city takes it from you. Period. Actually, the end. Why can you own a building forever that remains vacant? How does that serve the city?
Both commercial and residential and they're all getting tax abatements and there's no pressure and
I'm sure Starbucks didn't want to leave. Like, I don't blame Starbucks. They had a great business there. That was the most popular spot for everyone to like bring their laptop and you know, this was
the theaters here.
Yeah.
Shows.
And that building has remained unoccupied since then.
As you're saying, of artists, entertainers, small business, freelancers to unite us and how that's under such massive attack. So how do we what's your experience with that as an artist in your own life?
Obviously, arts education, I think, is
high on my list.
So precious and so important. I was never an athlete, but I think sports are obviously hugely important for kids who gravitate to that. You know, being on a team and learning how to work as a team and discipline and practice and just having something to do after school other than to sit in front of a screen. Fran Lebowitz, in one of her documentary specials, she says, when you're walking down the street like this, she says, that's where you are. Mm-hmm. You're not out here. Mm-hmm. You're here. She goes, that's why I've never gotten one of those phones.
Yay for her. Like, I don't even share a lot of what I think sometimes with people that I love because I don't feel like I can just have an open, honest, respectful conversation because, you know, chats like this and just how do we reconnect to each other? So,
well, one of the most important lessons I ever learned, and I learned it way too late in life, was it's more important to be happy than to be right.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you to your campaign.
Coffee.
Cheers.
Hope is a decision.
I'll drink to that.
Paid for by Amy Jordan for Congress.
I'm Amy Jordan, and I approve this message.